All right, so top 5 scenes. I didn't do characters because that's going to take
Nope.
more thinking. But
Yeah. This is going to be the top 5 favorite Star Wars scenes from the first 6, and only 6, because we don't count the fever dream hell that was the sequels.
good thing I didn't include any from there.
What could you possibly have picked from there for a favorite scene? The end credits, that meant you could leave?
Um, oh my God. I mean, even in shit, you'd think I could think of something. Nope.
Yep. So, anyway, these are going to be strictly from the first 6. Um, did you start last time?
Oh my God, there's nothing.
Yeah, there's no reason, because you can't remember anything from those 3. Nothing stands out. The music was even terrible.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Where's my list? All right.
The top
So,
5 favorite Star Wars scenes.
all righty. So, in New Hope, when
Okay.
Vader first walks in and he chokes that dude asking questions
Oh, at the
before
very
he,
beginning, like the tentative 5, the intro.
yeah. So like before, right after right after the droids are shot out with the Death Star
Yeah.
plans, and before, like right before Leia's brought up, and he just like tosses the
Yep.
one dude he's choking. I, as a kid, I was like, oh my God, this is the most evil mother effer ever. I was just blown away by it. It,
Oh yeah, the
cause
music and
yeah, I mean, oh yeah, the music's perfect. There's dead people everywhere. I mean, this is also before you realize stormtroopers are horrible shots due to plot armor. I
yeah.
mean, that scene they laid waste, and some of them died too. But I mean, that was a memorable scene to me.
No, very much so. Yeah, I didn't have it, but I could agree with that one.
And it's really the whole intro to what you're about to watch because it's the first Star Wars movie.
True. I can only imagine seeing that the first time in the theater in '77.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the theater. I saw that on
I know.
TV.
I'm just saying. I can only imagine what that would have been like. Like if you could time travel, that'd be one of the times I would stop and be like, see Star Wars on the big screen with all the people.
You know, and it would be a safe one to do because if you played your card, well, actually, maybe it wouldn't be a safe one to do because those movies were selling out back then even. But if you could find a showing where you could buy the ticket, get in, not interrupt with anybody, not step on
Just
a
stand in the
butterfly.
back, maybe.
Yep, and just watch it and enjoy it, and
Think
then
now,
boom.
let's diverge for a second. I think. Well, let's not get into the time travel thing. That could be a topic for another day.
All right, what's yours?
I'll stick with A New Hope and go with Death Star run at the end.
Oh, I didn't put that in. That's a good one. That
Just
is a good one.
from the point when it like goes down into the camera goes down into the trench and you're in the trench. I mean, that's just iconic.
It's really good. I've watched a lot of VFX videos on that and how it even holds up to today. I mean, yeah, they've cleaned it up a bit and it does look nicer.
Yeah.
Parts of it, there's parts I wish they didn't sew CGI up, but it's that is really iconic. It's very iconic, and they don't hold back. I mean, almost everyone dies. It
I mean, even well, now it does bug me apart because Luke's childhood friend dies and he barely even registers with him. But that's a problem with the Star Wars movies in general.
yeah, I mean, his aunt and uncle died. That barely registered. It, I, yeah, yeah. And to be honest, I don't think Mark Hamill's that good of an actor. Voice actor, yes,
Oh yeah, he's a good voice actor. Yeah, but
fantastic.
live
He,
action.
yeah, his on-screen presence is. I get it. Sci-fi. It was a budget movie, and he did fine, but he never stood out to me as a, you know, as there was always something about him that I always disliked, and now I know what it is. He's a freaking idiot, but
Yeah.
but I still loved him. It I can separate the artist from the shithead. I
Yeah.
mean the person. It yeah. Boy, you thought the last episode where you're talking about Breath of the Wild being bad was a hot take.
Yeah, that's not a hot take, I don't think.
Um, yeah, I would agree with that though. The trench run is fantastic, right to the end. The
Yeah.
whole Obi-Wan talking back the first
Han
time you
Solo's
listen to
coming in
that,
his bedroom.
yeah, you're like, what the hell? How's he talking? What's going on? He's a spirit. I mean, it was. that movie, even though the movie wrapped, and technically could have been a one-off movie, no sequel, even though that movie wrapped at the end, it left you wanting more.
Well, Darth Vader does get launched away and not defeated.
That's true. Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen with him. But I mean, the storyline for that one finished. It's kind of like the first Matrix. There's
Yeah,
a lot of comparisons between the Matrix and the first three
yeah,
films. But Matrix, there's a lot more to wonder what was going on. But they left that when Neo takes off into the
yeah.
air, flying for the first time. It could have wrapped there. They didn't need more. I'm glad they did two more. The fever dream didn't need to happen, but
Yeah.
yeah. Wow, there are a lot of similarities. Um, all right, what is my next one here? Luke and Vader in the Dagobah cave. Um, as a
Oh,
kid, so yeah, the first
that.
time I saw that was in the theater.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Empire, obviously.
yeah, yeah.
Um, that one, because when I first saw it, I thought, oh my god, Vader, how the hell did he get there? How did he find out Luke was there? Blah blah blah. All these thoughts are going through my head. I'm a little kid. I don't know what's going on. The lightsabers come up. It's a little bit of slow motion. All of a sudden, his head comes off. And even as a kid, I'm like, that was way too easy. Like, what's going on here? And my brain still was like, is that a human under there? Is that just a robot? Um, Even though I kind of knew it was a human. As a kid, just different thoughts went in my head. And then all of a sudden the mask blows off. And I didn't recognize it as Luke's face at first until I got looking at it. I'm like, wait a second, what the hell? And then you realize everything that it was. So it was,
Yeah.
I'm really glad I was as young as I was when I watched it, because I watched it with very big eyes um, and more of a, I think today we watch things and we're just like, well, we know that can't happen. And I
Which
guess,
was cynical now.
yes, thank you. Cynical, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so the cave scene, I could see where some people would be like, it wasn't really that big a deal. But to me, that was a defining moment, one of the many defining moments for me watching Star Wars.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, fuck, I just thought I'm going to put it as an honorable mention while you're saying yours.
Well, I'll stick with Empire then, and go with the duel on Bespin. From the time where Luke lands to the "I'm your father" bit.
That's mine, too.
Okay,
That's my next one.
okay.
Yep.
I'm just because the way Vader like hunts him down and kind of guides him to where he needs him to be.
Yeah, that and the
So,
whole,
the actual lightsaber battle isn't that big a deal, but it's the psychological advantage that Vader has at that point over Luke.
I thought the lightsaber battle was huge.
It's okay, but I like the aspect that Luke is coming in all like, I'm gonna beat everybody. I'm cool. I just had 15 minutes of Jedi training, and gets his ass kicked.
Oh, you mean the opposite of Rey?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, the anti-Mary Sue.
Yes,
It,
'cause Luke
I
gets his fucking ass kicked.
I actually liked it because, so as a kid, there was little things I liked. One, just the art department, hats off to them. They were absolutely fucking amazing, especially for back then. Um, when Boba Fett shoots at Luke and just the fire starts on the wall where it hit
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, just everything. And the first time, I'm not saying I'm absolutely correct, but I'm pretty sure the first time anyone in Star Wars yells, "It's a trap," is not Akbar. It's Princess Leia
Leia.
in that scene.
Yeah.
But the uh, the thing, he does the Dagobah stuff on there. So like when he falls into the hole of the carbon freezing. But when Vader turns away to force flick the switch, he force jumps out.
Yeah.
And which was a little confusing to me when I first watched it. It took a second watching when I was a kid to know what was going on. I thought he did the magnetic rope thing like he did on the
Oh,
AT-AT in the
yeah.
on
And
Hoth.
on Hoth.
But
Yeah.
that was a force jump he did. And then it's funny where Vader cuts the hose and he takes the hose and puts it in Vader's face. He's wearing a fucking respirator. But
Well, I mean,
but it blinded him. It was still good. You don't know what happened. I mean, I actually thought the whole thing was good. And then he starts using the Force. Once again, the first time I watched it when I saw it in the theater as a kid, I thought everybody knew the pressurization thing. Shoot a hole in the window of a plane and it pressurizes and sucks everything out. Even though
Yeah.
I think in real life it doesn't work that way. But as a kid, I thought for sure it would tear you through a fucking pinhole. And so I thought that's what was first throwing out. It wasn't until I watched it the second time and had a comprehension of everything where it was Vader force throwing everything at him. I
Yeah.
think it might have been a mixture actually, but
When it blows that window up and he flies out into the...
yeah, yeah. But when he cuts Luke's hand off, that was kind of like the cave scene. When he cuts Luke's, because you never think anything's going to happen to the main
That's the hero,
character, to the
yeah.
hero, yeah. And when he loses his hand, you don't know he's getting a robot hand at this point. So you're like, oh my fucking god! And the whole father thing. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
so happy that was not spoiled for me.
That's another one. If I could go back in time, I'd want to experience that with the people, like for the first time.
There was a lot. It was almost silent. I remember.
Yeah.
There was a gasp and just silence. I do remember that a little bit. It doesn't stick with me as much as I thought it would have, but I mean, it stuck with me. The
Yeah.
surrounding thing. I think I was just so into it. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. I had never watched anything at that point, but I was a little kid. I mean, I was born in '74, so I was what?
You were 6.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah, was it 6? No.
It was 1980.
Holy shit! Yeah, so I would have been 6. Yeah, because I was in Menominee, and I watched it in the little shitball. At the time, it was a normal sized theater. Now they're so big and stuff, but this
Yeah.
was like a shitball little theater that probably only sat maybe 100 people. Um,
Yeah, that's why there were lines around the block for these movies back then.
yeah, yeah, but that was cool. That was all part of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I miss standing in lines.
Yeah. Well, I remember doing it for the third movie, and I remember there's people with lightsabers there and stuff. It rained a little bit. I remember I showed up a little later because I had to work, but
Yeah, Pretzel and I were there at like 10 in the morning.
yeah, that was the where the Gander Mountain ended up opening up, the old
Yep.
theater. I actually liked that theater. We saw Superman there and
Saw
Wolverine.
Punch there.
Not Wolverine. X-Men 3.
I stand.
Yeah, I remember walking out being so pissed. That was. Oh, you said that one. Okay, but I agreed with that one. So you go again.
All right, I'm going to jump to the prequels and go with the Battle of Geonosis at the end of episode 2,
Battle of Geonosis, episode 2.
when Yoda brings the clones in and all the Jedi show up and they have that
Oh,
arena
that
battle
is
with-
a good one. The Dooku one.
Yep.
That's good all the way up until Dooku. Well, and past. But
when Mace Windu comes in and puts his lightsaber across his neck. This party's over, and then all the Jedi storm in, and then Yoda shows up with the clones, and it's just a big battle.
that is a really good one. That's another one where Skywalker gets his arm cut off, and I'm like, oh wow, they did that. Even though it wasn't as surprising at that point, it still was.
Eventually, Anakin had to lose all his limbs.
Yeah, that's true. That was damn it, I didn't think of that. See, I just cracked this list out too quick. That was a good one. That was impressive. And you know how I feel about CGI, but they did a good job with that part. Right, even when Obi-Wan's yelling at him about Padme falling out of the ship going, what would she do? Like, he didn't even try arguing with what would a Jedi do. She's like, what would she do?
Well, that's how he got. That's how he gets through to Anakin because he didn't care about anything.
Yeah.
If people bitch about that, how she survive? If you watch that scene, they're going over a dune when she falls out, so she's only like that far off the ground. And that clone trooper survives too. That falls out with her.
Yeah, she barely fell at all. I didn't even know that was
Because
an issue.
it was like, oh, people bitch. Well, of course, people bitch about everything with those three. If you got to watch it again, watch it again. The ship when it gets hit is like that far off the ground from a dune.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
on
they
top
barely
of it.
fall. Yeah, they barely fall at all.
Yeah, honestly, they could have been a bigger fall, and who gives a shit? That's one of the things that I believe you when you watch these things, you have to suspend certain belief because why else would you watch movies? I mean, you're telling me people can't land on an asteroid and blow it up?
Oh, Armageddon.
Yeah.
If they can or can't. Funny aside about that one is the director's commentary on that one. It got Michael Bay and Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck's like, why didn't they just train the astronauts how to use the equipment? And Michael Bay goes, shut up, Ben.
That's funny shit. But it's actually explained because you have to feel it. And it's Ben's
Yeah,
character that does it too. He's like, I can feel it. I know it can go through.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's absurd, but at least it's entertaining.
Yeah, and that's all it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a good one. Shit, where did I leave off? I did the cave scene, right?
And we did the Bespin would have
Oh,
been
Vader Clouds. I said Cloud City, but that
Cloud
was
City, yeah.
Bespin, yeah. Back to Cloud City, or Bespin. Han and the Carbonite. Once again, first time watching it, I'm a kid. And in the theater, they froze his ass. I thought for sure someone was going to save him at the last second. And all of a sudden, there he is. And then you
Oh,
see Lando say, well, if he survived the process, he should be okay. And that's when your heart just kind of, everything relaxes a little bit. Because I thought he was done.
yeah. I mean, when I saw him on video for the first time, I didn't know much about him. So it was still kind of surprising for me. I knew the Vader father thing, but yeah, the Han Solo and Carbonite thing is still.
Oh, you knew the Vader father thing, seeing it.
I'd heard that before I seen it. Yeah,
Oh, God, I still remember that. That still sits with me. Yeah, that would be a good time travel one. Yeah, I mean, Empire, when you think about it and you break it down, Empire does not go the way of the heroes. I mean, Luke loses his hand, Han's frozen.
I mean, the heroes should never. They don't always have to win.
Well, C-3PO got blown to shit.
Yeah,
Um, R2 gets zapped by the city. I mean, he's fine, but he gets zapped by it still. Um, Actually, he gets pretty fried up in New Hope as it is at the end. I mean, they take it. Oh, Luke in the beginning, he's in the Bacta tank healing. Uh,
because of Hoth.
yeah, I mean,
His motorcycle accident. I mean, speeder accident.
yeah, they take. I thought it was a Corvette accident.
Oh, he was in a Corvette summer movie. I don't know if that was a Corvette accident.
Oh, maybe
Could
that's
have,
what it is. Yeah,
could have been.
but I mean, Empire is a downer for the heroes. I mean, nothing goes their way. It
Which I'm fine with. It's more real because the heroes aren't always going to win.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's great. And they separate, and I mean, it's not like it all happens right away. It's stages in the movie. So there's in-betweens where they do okay, and then, not so okay.
And while we're on the subject of Empire, we're going to touch on the fever dreams here for just a second because of the people that defend the way Han Solo and Luke are treated in the sequels flies directly in the face of things that happen in Empire Strikes Back. Because Han Solo on Bespin, right? He's with the Lando and them, and Vader's there. What's Han Solo's first thing? He fucking shoots at Darth Vader, for Christ's sake. And
Oh,
like,
he doesn't
that's
hesitate. He pulls that gun out and starts blasting.
yeah, in Force Awakens, because times got a little tough, he left Leia and their kid to go be a smuggler again. This is the same Han Solo that, without thinking, shoots at fucking Darth Vader the second he sees him.
Oh, it's a beautiful movie. Absolutely. Not
But
not,
yeah,
not the
but yeah,
fever dream.
I'm led to believe that no, this Han Solo went back to being a smuggler, left Leia and this kid behind because times got tough.
Yeah, I don't understand how these movies happen because if you read the Aftermath books, they're good. And then it just goes to shit after that. They should, if they wanted to do prequels or sequels, they should have did Aftermath.
If they're gonna do sequels, they should have forgotten about the Skywalkers and Solos and just done their own thing. Hundreds of years in the future.
They're barely. I mean, Leia's pregnant, but they're barely in. They're barely in Aftermath. Leia's in it pretty heavily. Han actually is explained on why he's away. The problem is, and I agree with you on the sequels, he doesn't need to be away anymore. He's away at first because he owes like a debt kind of thing. He has to go, like a personal debt.
Yeah.
And he has to go help Chewie with his family and stuff. And it makes sense. But then it should have ended. When he did that, he should have came back. So,
Yeah, well, that's a little side because we're talking about Empire Strikes Back and
yeah, no, I got you. I agree with you on that. Oh, I did the last one. I did Carbonite, right?
yeah.
All right, yours.
Next one, I've my next two. I mean, I'm glad we're not ranking these because I don't know where these would fall.
Oh, I
But
just did them as I thought of them.
yeah, My next one will be Duel on Mustafar. Obi-Wan and
Oh, how did I not put that in there? Yeah, that is good. That's even fantastic in the goddamn PS2 and Xbox game.
oh yeah, even better because you can go back and if you defeat Obi-Wan, you go
Yeah.
back and fight. You can fight Emperor. Yeah,
And then you kill the Emperor
yeah,
with the
and you become
lightsaber he gives you.
yeah.
That
But
yeah.
that one is just I like the way that that's done.
That's a I did not like it at first. It took me a bit because there's the whole where they're flicking the blade thing, but I watched something on it talking about how they're basically peacocking to each other. And
And Obi-Wan's holding back, but Anakin is like full.
oh, he's all rage.
Yeah,
I kind of like the fact that Obi-Wan is actually probably the more powerful due to calmness and technique.
because Obi-Wan is still in his heart thinks he can reach him. Even though he's fighting him and Anakin looks like he's going to kill him, I think Obi-Wan is still holding back a little bit, hoping he can still reach him and get him without having to kill him. But then when he finally realizes that's not an option,
Yeah, he never makes sure he's dead though.
no, I know
And
he
I
still
think
doesn't.
that's
He
part
still
of it.
can't kill him. Yeah, he still can't kill him.
I actually honestly think you would have enjoyed the Obi-Wan series except for the last episode. It's don't get me wrong, there's parts you would not have liked.
It seems like a lot of filler for something that could be done in like 2 episodes.
Um it you know what? It moved along a lot better than the some of the Marvel shit. It
What? I was all
actually
past the point.
even Reva's not the end of the world in the Obi-Wan thing, except for the fact she's in the last episode. That just doesn't make sense. We've had this conversation, but it other than that, I actually think you would enjoy it. It's
Maybe.
it's it's really not bad. Could I edit it down to be less? Absolutely. But yeah, it's not too bad.
Shit, you can cut out the whole phase of Marvel recently and you wouldn't miss a goddamn thing.
Oh, I can't Ms. Marvel. Well, that's a different story altogether. I made it through 2 episodes, and I'm like, oh, you mean this is not a superhero thing? This is just telling me how
Well, we'll see
her
how far you
life's
get.
so rough.
Okay.
All right. So my last one is and this might be yours too. Darth Maul Obi slice in
Yeah,
half scene.
Duel of the
Basically,
Fates.
basically the whole ending of that. But
Duel of the Fates.
yeah,
From the time where the door opens up, the music starts and Maul unleashes. Yep, that's mine.
yep. The second they show him, you know shit's going down.
Yep. Just everything about that is awesome.
Yeah, it's
This is a favorite piece of Star Wars music. I don't.
you didn't like the music?
No, that's my favorite piece of Star Wars music.
Oh, your favorite piece of Star Wars movie. It yeah, that's a great scene. That's when we really get to see lightsabers. That's well, for me that's a childhood wet dream right there because that's one thing we never really got a lot of in the 4 through 6 was lightsaber action. You get a
Yeah,
little bit, you get teased, but that's the first time we actually get to see some balls on we're fighting with lightsabers and what they can do. Um, Obviously we get to see more as the movies came out, but that was the
yes.
first time where I'm like, oh my God. And I saw that really late. I saw that once I moved to Milwaukee because that came out when I was still in Eau Claire. Um, I took my I took my sister to it actually, and there was no one in the theater. It was like it was on its last leg there. It had been out for a while, and
Obviously.
I remember watching that going because I didn't want to see it. I'm like, I wanted to, but I didn't. I heard bad things, and I'm like, I gotta see it. I'm gonna be pissed at myself if I don't see it in the theater. And I was actually glad I did. I was like, oh, that's a lot better than I thought. I'm glad I didn't watch that. I'm glad that came out before YouTube was so big. Because in today's world, that would have got torn down so
Well,
goddamn
and some
hard.
fucking Red Letter Media dipshits that took like 25 hours and shredded every single second of that movie.
Well, and that's no,
Get a
the
fucking
Marvel thing is gone too far, but that's there's these people are still doing the same thing. She-Hulk is not great. It's not horrible either. It's actually all the things they're bitching about don't actually happen. Now, there's a couple things that happen where you're like, oh my God, how did this make it past the final writer's desk? I mean, holy shit. Um, but a lot of things that they're accusing it of, I mean, you know how I feel about Mark Ruffalo. I can't
oh
stand
yeah,
that fucker.
a love lost there. Yeah,
He's I'm actually good with him in it. It's kind of funny. It's a little bit campy.
Oh,
I like it's Marvel.
the Hulk and Marvel is garbage now anyways. Doesn't really matter what they do with them.
Yeah, but he wasn't really Hulk in it. So he was more
No,
of a bantering type of person.
he hasn't really been Hulk for how long?
Well, that's true too. Yeah. But it's not that bad. You know that one video I sent you with the one dude, the executive or
Oh
ex-executive?
yeah,
He actually did a review of it after I watched it. I waited till I watched it first so I didn't want to spoil anything. And he said a lot of things I agreed with. And he's like, the structure is actually sound. It's like, this is what you got to do, and you got to get to this point
it's
by
a
the
sitcom,
end of
right?
it.
It's
What's that?
supposed to be a sitcom, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
which every Marvel movie's been since Endgame anyway. So what does it matter? What's different about it?
Well, I think that's what people are just not, well, people are bitching because that's what gets the clicks. That's why they're really doing it. But yeah, it's I'm gonna watch the second one. I'm actually looking. I'm not going out of my way to watch it. It's been out for a couple days now, but when I get a chance, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna give it a serious chance. And if it's all right, I'll keep watching. Ms. Marvel, on the other hand, I gave it a chance. It was god awful garbage. I ended it. Wow, I went off of Star Wars big time. Did we say all our Star Wars stuff?
Yeah, because we read on the last one.
Oh, that was your last one.
That was Duel of Fates was my last one. Yeah.
So I got an honorable mention. It doesn't completely fit, but I got to bring it up because as a kid, anything Star Wars I could get.
If this is holiday special Ewoks,
Not the
I'm
how.
sitting down.
No, I didn't put the Ewoks in there. I did, but I did like the Ewoks. But even the Ewoks, I was a little bummed out. It was and the Star Wars edition or the holiday special. I actually didn't see that on TV when I was a kid. Um, Muppets.
Oh, okay.
One, I love the Muppets, and two, for some reason, and they probably replayed it all the time due to the popularity. The Luke Skywalker episode
Yeah, I
was
remember that. I remember that skit.
it was always played. That or maybe he did more than one, but
No, he was in his Bespin outfit.
yep, yep,
Yeah,
and
he was dressed like Leia with the earmuffs.
yeah, yeah, it's I loved it because I would anything to get like if you saw the droids, you're just like fuck yeah, the droids. I remember having a little page book. I got one hanging up there by my reaction Army of Darkness dudes, but yeah, I love that shit. I had so many books, like the making of stuff. If it was on TV, I remember the making of the Hoth scene. And as a kid, I didn't fully comprehend those vehicles weren't real. I'm like, how did they get those to fly? Like, how come you don't see those anywhere? I mean, I want to own one of those. And then there's a commercial showing, all right, we're going to show you how we did all this. And they got the snow speeders there. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I want to see this. And then I find out they're fake.
Oh,
I was still excited. It didn't matter. I still wanted one. That's why I get so pissed with YouTubers now. Like, well, Empire is probably one of the finest movies ever actually made. From story arc, character arc, ping ponging back and forth, good and evil, who wins, who's doing all right. I mean, New Hope. If you can find some bad things in New Hope, at the time I don't think you could have, but in today's world you probably could. But the
nitpick anything. People can just sit down and nitpick like those, like the Red Letter Media idiots with episode 1. You hate this movie, right? You hate it, but you sat and watched it 75 times to make a 30-hour video how much you hate it. What the
yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, it's kind of like Nerdrotic, which is the funny thing is I don't dislike Nerdrotic's content, but when he talks, the problem is he found something that gets him views, and he's just beating that horse dead, and it's ripping on Marvel. And don't get me wrong, it's easy to rip on Marvel.
Yeah, we do it a lot.
Yeah, but it's gotten to the point where it's to the point now where I actually watched the first episode because I can't trust what any of the critics are saying anymore.
You can't do that with. You can do it if it looks good to you. Go see it.
Well,
Go
that's
watch
where
it.
I am.
You
At
make that
with it.
final decision.
And it's like I said with Ms. Marvel, I made it two or three episodes in, and I'm like, no, this is a woke virtual signaling piece of crap. Maybe it gets better, but you already lost me. I can't put up with this crap anymore to get to what you should have had maybe in the first episode. Where She-Hulk on the other side, She-Hulk did not waste a lot of time, and it's like a sitcom. They're like, you can't wait till the third episode to get this shit going. We're gonna do it right now. And I actually respected that. I was actually really happy with that because I'm like, God, if they drag this out, I can't do that. But
What's the point of it?
It's just, I mean, the first episode is just how she became She-Hulk. And then there's a villain that
But like,
comes in. She takes the villain out, and I think that's going to spawn the rest of it.
what's the point? I guess.
Well, I mean, what's
Why
the
can't
point
it
to
be a
any
Hulk?
sitcom?
Why can't it be just a Hulk show? Why is She-Hulk back in it? Because she's a character that people can recognize in a comic book. I don't know.
Maybe.
Where does
Well,
she fit in
probably
like
a
with?
lot cheaper to have She-Hulk than it is to have Hulk. Ruffalo's not going to do it.
I guess I could ask this about any movie since Endgame. What's the goddamn point?
Well, but this is but you can't do the movie thing. You gotta remember it is a sitcom. So, but you could say
Wait,
that about any
let me
sitcom. What was the point to Three's Company or
let
anything like
me
that?
let me rephrase. In the grand scheme of Marvel, what's the point of any of these shows or movies? Shouldn't we by now see some sort of where this is going?
To be honest, with you, I hope it doesn't go anywhere.
Just hope it like farts out.
No, I'm fine with the sitcoms. I don't want any more movies. I want Guardians. That's it.
The
I want to see
movies
that, and
are
I want it
sitcoms.
done. What's that?
I mean, look what they did with Love and Thunder. The movies are sitcoms now.
Well, yeah, you're not actually wrong with that. Yeah, but Christian Bale is frigging he carried that movie.
He's the only good thing about that movie, really.
There's parts with Thor I'm okay with. I think Chris
And
Hemsworth did the best he could with the crap Waikiki gave him.
there's a lot in that movie like Hemsworth is just done with this. It's just the way he look. He's just looking bored.
Well, you would be too. I mean that's what I mean. I think he did a great job with what he was given.
I suppose.
They gave him shit. I mean, he basically was there going, "Oh my god, I'll give you what I got, but let's please end this."
Yeah.
I mean, Bale's an amazing actor to begin with, but they gave him something good too. His material was dark.
Now that brings up an interesting point. Was that Bale just being Bale? Because how can the rest of that be so shitty under the same director, yet Christian Bale's stuff is so good?
I don't think Waikiki had the balls to tell Bale what to do.
Did Bale just like, I got this?
Yeah. Well, there was rumors that they gave his character a nose because they were worried Bale would cut his fucking nose off. Because in the comic, he doesn't have a nose. He looks like,
Yeah.
what's that guy's name? Not Dumbledore from Harry Potter, the bad guy. The man
Oh,
we don't see.
Voldemort?
Voldemort, yeah.
God, I remember the meme I saw that it had Sauron from Lord of the Rings, the Emperor from Star Wars, and Voldemort. And at the top is Sauron took over the entire Middle Earth. Emperor took over the entire galaxy. Voldemort couldn't take over a high school.
Yeah.
Like, why are we afraid of him?
That's pretty good, actually. He did kill a
like,
vampire.
like, son of a bitch, he couldn't even take over a high school. God damn it.
You know, the funny thing is, Harry Potter movies, they're the same movie being just tweaked every.
I saw three of them and they're the exact same thing, yeah.
Yeah, they're the same. Angie and I watched all of them except for the last two, and we'll watch them because you got to complete it. But they're the same damn movie each time.
No, no.
To me,
There's one of them that has a werewolf, right?
I don't remember werewolf.
With what, Gary Oldman, wasn't there a werewolf in that one?
There's one with a giant wolf. Maybe there's a werewolf. Maybe I'm not that far.
What's in Twilight? All that fucking shit's the same.
Oh no, the vampire. Robert Patterson's in one.
Oh yeah, he gets killed.
Yeah, yeah, he don't make it long. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate the Potter movies, but they are the same damn movies.
We should probably stop this one and do another one if we're gonna do this.
Yeah, yeah, we'll end this one here.
There was Star Wars stuff at the beginning. Go back and listen to that.
This was just the extended director's cut. Where's that damn stop button? There it is.